Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. I'm back with another client tutorial for you this Sunday. So today we're going to be focusing on full-on smoky eyes. I'm just going to be purely focusing on blending, how to get that smoky eye without overpowering the eye too much. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today, guys. I've got my beautiful model Gabrielle for me today. So we're going to be creating this full-on glam, full smoky eye. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and leave me a lovely little comment in the comment section below. And let's crack on with this full-on smoky eye tutorial. So, as always, the first thing that I'm going to do is sanitize my hands. Hand gel is a little bit of a gold dust at the moment, guys. There's not much about, is there? But so glad I've got this big bottle to keep me going. I'm going to mix two brow powders. These are from Anastasia Beverly Hills and the shades are soft brown and dark brown. I'm absolutely loving dark brown. It's one of the newer shades that I'm using. And I'm definitely preferring brow powders at the moment. So I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills 7B brush and I'm just brushing the brows up. And I'm going to start about not even 2/3 of the way in, just leaving that front part of the brow free from any product at the moment. And I'm just lining underneath the brow and kind of brushing it into the middle of the brow. So when I do a line at the bottom, I'm always moving that product upwards. I like most of the product to be underneath the brow, and then I'm going to gradually blend it up through the brow as we go. So I'm just completing the tail of the brow, getting the bottom shape of the brow just so I know where I'm going. And I'm going to keep swapping to my spoolie as well and keep brushing that brow powder through the brow. This is just going to make it look a little bit more natural. And again, I'm just completing that shape and really rounding off the tail of the brow. And then when there's less product on my brush, I'm going to go in the front of the brow. When my brush has a lot of product on it, I like to focus it on the lower part of the brow and kind of in the middle. And when my brush has less product on it, or even like a lighter shade of the brow powder, that's when I like to do the top of the brow and the front of the brow, because I do like you to be able to still see those brow hairs. So the brow powders are absolutely amazing for this, guys. The Anastasia Beverly Hills brow powders, I've been using so much recently. I've barely even been using dip brow unless my client has got less of a brow, so if they haven't got as much brow hair. But honestly, these brow powders, I'm obsessed with the colours, the shades. My main colours are chocolate, dark brown, soft brown, and I think I have another shade. I think I have medium brown as well. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving them, guys. I've linked all the products and brushes in the description box for you as well if you do want to check anything out. But I'm just completing the other side of this brow. This 7B brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills is so small and fine as well, which is what I absolutely love about it. Then I'm going to go in with my P. Louise base. I'm using the shade number 2 and the shade number 4. I absolutely love this product, guys. You guys know how much I absolutely love the P. Louise base. I can never do any eye look without it, like literally any makeup look at all. I just love this product so much. I actually have a P. Louise code for you as well, so that will be in the description box if you want to check that out. So I'm just using the MAC 252 brush and I'm carving out the brow. I tend to start at the outside of the brow first when my brush has got more product on it, because I don't want to load the product up in the front of the brow, because I feel like it can be a little bit too harsh at the front of the brow and kind of give it away that you have got the sharpness to the brow. So my client does have lash extensions on, so all I'm doing is making sure that I'm avoiding those lash extensions. And then again, I'm just carving in the front of the brow, and I'm using really light pressure and lifting the brow with one hand. And then as you can see, my little finger is rested on the face. That's just to give my hand some stability when I'm carving out the brows and if I need to do anything precise. I like to take my P. Louise base right on the inner corner and right on the outer corner as well. That's just because when it comes to blending the foundation and the skin products, it just means that everything's going to merge together more evenly, because the base colour that we use for the P. Louise base is a little bit lighter than the foundation, or I kind of tend to do it that way. Not too light. I don't like that white eye that everyone used to do years ago. I mean, I used to do it, but it's not a trend that I'm on board with anymore. But yeah, it's just so everything blends nicer together. So I just like to make sure I take it further on the inner corner, as you can see I'm doing now, and further on the outer corner. And I also like to take it between the brows, which you will see me do in a second. So I actually get a lot of questions about the P. Louise base, asking why I don't set it. It's actually not meant to be set. You're actually meant to use this and go straight in with eyeshadows over the top, because you are essentially setting that base with the eyeshadows that you're going to be using. It's just better for pigmentation. You get a better colour payoff. It's full coverage. It makes your blends nicer, and it's also good for Patching as well. I don't know if you guys ever experience patching, but it's the most annoying thing in the world. I don't experience it anymore that I use the P. Louise base, but before, when I used to use concealer and then set it with powder and then go in with eyeshadows, it's too much powder on the eye, and that's why you get that patching. So if you've never tried that P. Louise base, then honestly try it. It will change your life. I literally can't live without it. I'm just taking a synthetic blending brush. This one's from ABH, but you can literally use any that you have at home. I love synthetic brushes, as you'll see throughout the video. I do use a lot of synthetic more than natural hair, and I'm just taking that and I'm blending the edges of the P. Louise base into the skin just to make sure that there's no harsh edges. And again, when it comes to foundation, everything will blend a lot nicer. And I'm also tapping over the lid and buffing that product in just to make sure that there's no P. Louise base excess. Then I'm going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, and I'm going to take the shades Cypress Umber and Rustic. So these two darker browns, and I'm going to start packing this on the lid and creating that smoke. So I go in with my darkest shade first, and I'm using a synthetic, kind of like a flat brush, but it's also really fluffy. And I love this type of brush for packing on dark shades. I find that it packs on enough pigment, and I go in with little bits at a time, but I also feel like it fluffs the edge and you don't get that patching. So I'm using very, very light motions. I'm not pressing on hard on the eye or anything like that. I think that's where you do experience a little bit of patching when you're doing a smoky eye. So I'm just really, really lightly tapping that product on little bits at a time. As you can see, I keep going in my eyeshadow and coming back and applying the product. Honestly, guys, don't be afraid to really pack on those dark shades in the beginning, because your smoky eye is going to look so much better by packing on these deeper shades and then blending them out with lighter shades. I feel like if you go in with those lighter shades first and work down to your deep shades, you don't get a nice enough blend. I just think that, me personally, which is why I always go in with my darker shades first. I mean, you guys know I always use darker shades first. So again, I'm just repeating the same on the other side. I think this is a ColourPop brush, guys, by the way. It's so cheap, but it was amazing. So I'm just packing that on, light motions, letting the product and the bristles do the work for me. Ever so light motions, and I'm just keeping it right on the eyelid space, so right around the eyeball, if you will, before I go in and blend any other colours. This is just to kind of keep that deepness, but keep it all together. I don't want to be blending that dark colour up to the brows. Next, I'm going to dip into the Norvina palette. Absolutely love this palette. It's one of my favourites. I'm going to take the shade Eccentric, which, as you can see, is definitely one of my favourites from this palette. And I'm just going to start blending the edge of that dark brown. So I'm not trying to blend it up to the brow. I'm not trying to blend this shade out. I'm just using this shade to blend out this dark brown. And also I've gone with a little bit of like a warmer mustard brown. I find that a lot of dark brown eyeshadows are very, very cool tone or have like a purpley tone to them. I find it really hard to find really nice, dark, rich brown eyeshadow. So if you've got any recommendations, let me know. But I find them all to be really cool tone, so I'm trying to add a little bit of warmth in there. So this is purely just to blend out this darker shade, and then I'm going to go in with a lighter brown next, and I'm going to start blending out the edges. So this is purely just to blend out that darker shade. And as you can see, nothing's blended yet. Trust the process, guys. I'm not just going to leave it like this. And I will go back in with my darker shades at the end and reinforce those back in. When you are doing this reverse blending technique, you can lose your original colour first, but it just means that you don't have to pack it on again and again and again and again and kind of get that patching. You only literally have to reinforce it once. So I'm going to take Burnt Orange from the Soft Glam palette again, and I'm going to use a Peaches Makeup PC10 brush. This is my fave blending brush at the moment, and I'm going to ever so slightly start buffing out those edges. So with a really light hand, I'm lifting the brow with my thumb, and I'm also using a very, very light hand and just feathering that product over the edge. And I'm using back and forward motions towards the front of the brow, and then just circling it out as I get towards the end of the brow. And I'm focusing that product right on that inner corner where the brow, it's kind of like the front of the brow where the brow meets the nose. I like to really focus a blend there, because I find that it slims down the nose and it gives that really smoky effect without using like any black or dark shadows in that area. It just kind of adds a natural contour in that section of the eye. I also think when you are working with the P. Louise base, it is better to go in with a lighter hand, because you aren't going to be mixing the shadows with the base underneath. It's just going to glide over the top and blend seamlessly. And sometimes as well, it is handy to have a clean blending brush with you, just so you can tidy up any edges where the eyeshadow is meeting the base or the skin or whatever. Sometimes I do feel like I need an extra clean blending brush with me, but sometimes I don't. It just depends on how everything's blending together. And then again, I'm going in with that original dark brown shade, so this will be the Cypress Umber and the Rustic, and that original ColourPop brush, and I'm just taking a very small amount of product. I don't want to layer any more of this colour on, I just want to reinforce that blend. So as you can see, by going back in with my first shade and kind of moving it upwards, you can see how much that blend has come together, and it's just reinforced that shade, making it look like it's been already there. And again, there's no patching, but I do like to swap between all my blending brushes and packing brushes just to make sure that everything's looking nice and seamless and that we've got a lovely blend going on. Then I'm going to move on to liner, and I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jet Waterproof Cream colour. I absolutely love this one, but if you are looking for a drugstore option, I do recommend the Maybelline one. That is really good as well. I'm going to use a My Kitco Feline liner brush. You guys can use any liner brush you've got at home. I'm not being neat with this because we are going to smoke it out, so I'm literally just creating a line of black gel liner on the waterline. I love a smoky liner. I don't think anyone really has like that harsh line anymore, so I love to smoke it out. I'm going to take the black eyeshadow from the Soft Glam palette, and I'm going to use a tiny little pencil brush from ColourPop. This is smaller than most pencil brushes, which is what I like about it. You can really get in on that lash line. And I'm just going to start smudging it out by using backwards and forwards motions. And again, I'm not pressing on too hard because I don't want to move that eyeliner, and I don't want to kind of mix it with the shadows or anything like that. I just simply want it to stay where it is, but buff it out, which is why I'm using really light motions and just going backwards and forwards on the lash line. But yeah, I feel like no one really has that harsh line of eyeliner anymore. I feel like everyone does a bit of a smoky, which I personally absolutely love. I think it's so much more flattering on the eye than a harsh line, but everyone's different, everyone suits different things, but this is just my preference. So I'm just making sure that's all smoked out and blended into the shadow, and then I'm actually going to go in the waterline. So I get my client to look all the way up and just gently pull down the eye with one hand, and then I'm using an eyeliner brush that's a little bit big, so it's more surface area, so that when it's on your client's waterline, it's going to be more comfortable for them because it's not a smaller brush and more pressure. The pressure is spread over a larger surface area. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense when I think it in my head, but getting it out in words is a bit different. I'm just using a ZOEVA smudger brush, and I'm just using some dark brown eyeshadow and mixed with a little bit of black as well to kind of buff out that gel liner in the waterline. So I'm not actually taking the shadow in the waterline. This is just to buff it on the lash line, because I feel like when you need to use a dark colour on the lower lash line, you have to do it before skin, because if you do it after skin, you're just going to get so much black fallout. It's not worth the risk, honestly. So I just like to do this before skin, and it also makes, when I'm blending the lower lash line, it makes it so much easier. We'll come to that later, but I'm just going to clean up the face of any fallout using some Garnier Micellar water. This is the new rose one. I'm just testing this out at the minute. I really like it actually for prepping my client's skin. I don't tend to use wipes. If anyone knows me, I hate makeup wipes. If you use makeup wipes, get rid of them. Honestly, I hate them so much. And then I'm going to go back in with burnt orange after I've done the skin, guys. So all the eyes are done. I've done nothing to the eyes since we last left, and I'm just buffing that underneath the eyes. So I'm taking a pencil brush, and this ZOEVA one is quite fluffy. So because we laid down that black before we went in with the skin, it's made it so much easier to do the lower lash line, because you just pop on that burnt orange shade and it just buffs everything out. It's so much easier than trying to blend your black without ruining the skin and everything like that, and avoiding fallout. And then I'm just taking a Molly O'Brien brush, and I'm just buffing that on the lower lash line just to make sure everything's blending nice into the skin. And then I'm going to add the Doll Beauty highlighter in the shade Shine Bright on a pencil brush on the inner corner. This just gives a little bit of lightness to the smoky eye. And then I'm going to go in with a disposable mascara wand and pop some mascara on the lower lashes. My client's got lash extensions on, so we didn't need to add any lashes today. And yeah, guys, that is the finished look. So I hope you enjoyed this little smoky eye focus. If you do want a skin focus, let me know. I did this skin exactly the same as I did my other skin on my last client tutorials, using the same products pretty much, just different shades. So if you do want to check that out, I will leave that in the description box below. I'm just using a clean blending brush here just to finish everything off, make sure everything's nice and seamless and all blended into the skin. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm just going to do a quick brush through the brows just to get them all nice and shaped, and that is the final look finish. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this smoky eye tutorial. Hope you might have learnt something, you never know. But here's the finished look, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Before you leave, don't forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and leave me a lovely little comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And if there's anything that you want to see for a client tutorial, pop it in the comment section below. Bye!